Bree. So today I'm going to talk to you about how long you can wear a cloth pad for compared to a disposable pad, and when you really need to change a pad and all sorts of those things. So I have 4 pads for me to help me today. So 2 heavy pads here. This is a Tree Hugger pad and a Homestead Emporium pad. And I also have a regular 2 Piece Creations, 10 inches I think, and a 12-inch regular Creations by 5 minky topped regular pad. So length doesn't really have anything to do with this, and as you can see I've deliberately got a regular pad that's longer than my 2 heavy pads. The 2 main factors for this, and as I said it's when you need to change your pad, not when you're comfortable changing your pad, is the heaviness of your flow and the absorbency of your pads. So for example, a heavier pad will, for obvious reasons, contain more absorbency than a regular pad will. This is a Homestead Emporium. This has bamboo fleece inside it, and 2 Piece Creations, I can't remember what's inside of this, but it doesn't feel like Zorb, so it could be flannel actually, or flannel and terry, I'm not quite sure. But yeah, so the absorbency of these pads will be indicated to you when you buy them. If wherever you buy them from, they should tell you what absorbency they are, so you'll know. And some of the brands will also do snaps, different colours. I do that with my own brand. Or they'll have a little, like this one has here, a star, pink star to say it's regular. So, if you have a heavy to regular flow, if you're heavy one day and regular another day, it's a good idea to have some heavy pads and some regular pads. For me, I prefer to change my pads around every 2 hours. Now that's quite frequent because I don't need to change my pad that often. I just do it because I have a huge stash of pads. I have about 80 pads, which I have because I obviously run this channel and I review them and I try them out and stuff. But I have destashed quite a few recently, so I might not have that many anymore. But I do it because I feel more comfortable if I frequently change my pad. However, I could probably wear my regular pad on my regular day and only have to change it once during the whole day because I am really light with my period, and it's got a lot lighter since I switched to cloth pads, which is something else to take into account when you're buying them, is that your period can often get a bit lighter. But it doesn't hurt to buy a couple of heavy pads because even if your period does get lighter, it means you can wear these for longer. So if you are trying to be as economical as possible with your period, and that's one of the reasons you want to switch to cloth pads, it is always a good idea to grab a couple of heavy pads as well as regular pads, even if you don't really have a heavy period. They will be thicker. You can see how thick this one is. Actually, the Homestead Emporium one isn't that thick at all. Fold it in half for you. It's quite floppy, this one as well. It's really nice. And this is bamboo velour topped. So that's the thickness when it's folded in half, and it's really not a thick pad, this one, but it is a heavy absorbency, and bamboo fleece is very absorbent as well. Bamboo is an absorbent fibre. Those of you who are in the cloth nappy or cloth diaper industry will know that. One of the fabrics that's in cloth pads that a lot of people don't realise is something called Zorb. Zorb is a material that has been specially designed just for cloth pads and reusable nappies or diapers if you're in the US. So it really is absorbent. It holds 3 times as much as microfiber terry. But it is prone to compression leaks, so if you're better off with it backed with PUL in it, to be honest. For a regular absorbency, it's usually considered a light absorbency, just 1 layer of absorb, but 2 is considered heavy. It's a bit of a funny system with that, so just bear that in mind. But yeah, heavy pads, you really need to look at the length that you want and try and get that length in the heavy and the regular absorbency, or if you prefer different lengths for your regular and heavy days, then look into that. There will almost certainly be a pad in that length and absorbency online, I can guarantee you, and if not, someone can probably make it for you. Cloth pads are very adaptable. So yeah, I think some people get by on just 6 cloth pads. That is what we send off to the girls in Africa and the kits, and they can make it work perfectly there. Some of them even make it work with 5. So if you're really careful with it, 6 pads is all you will need to be able to use them on your cycle. I'd say you need about 10 to be comfortable though, and that's a mixture of regular and heavy. Bearing in mind you can wear the heavy pads for quite some time, but you might want to change it sooner if you feel quite uncomfortable. But if you're not as worried about comfort, you just want to save money and you want to get by with them, then you can wear these for quite some time. A heavy pad could easily hold all of my flow on my regular day, and I would only need to change it once on my heavy day if I used them on my heaviest day. I tend to use menstrual cups when I'm on my heaviest flow day because I like to feel really dry down there, and I always feel quite wet on my heavy days. But on my regular days, I'm really not that heavy at all. I'm quite light, so I can wear a pad for those days. So how often would you need to change a cloth pad? Pretty much the same amount of time as you would need to change a disposable, but remember you can adjust the absorbency inside of these. So actually, if you get a heavier flow pad for your regular day, then you could probably wear that for longer. If you're going to be going a longer stretch of time, just adjust which pad type you use. Have some regulars, have some heavies, and if you know you're going to be out for longer, maybe put the heavy pad on just in case as extra backup. But regular pads are usually pretty good and they're pretty well marked to the absorbency that you're going to need them. We have pretty good ideas as cloth pad makers. So thanks for watching guys, I hope you found this helpful. Please subscribe and I will talk to you later. Bye bye.